Story 1. The Haunting Summer Camp. I had eagerly awaited the arrival of summer camp for months, envisioning it as a place of adventure, friendship, and unforgettable memories. But the summer of my 13th year would prove to be a season of terror I would never forget. The camp, nestled deep within a dense forest, seemed like the perfect escape from the bustling city. As I arrived with a backpack full of enthusiasm and curiosity, I couldn't help but marvel at the picturesque surroundings: a serene lake, towering trees, and rustic cabins. The first few days were a whirlwind of activities, laughter, and new friendships. We hiked through the woods, canoed on the pristine lake, and gathered around campfires beneath the starry night sky. It was everything I had dreamed of, and more. But as the days turned into weeks, I began to notice something strange, a sense of unease that hung in the air like a dark cloud. Whispers among the campers spoke of eerie occurrences, strange sounds in the night, unsettling shadows in the woods, and the feeling of being watched. One evening, as a group of us sat around the campfire, telling ghost stories, our counselor, Sarah, joined in with a chilling tale of her own. She spoke of a camp legend, a ghostly figure known as the Woodsman, who was said to haunt these very woods. According to the story, the Woodsman had once been a camper like us, but he had mysteriously vanished during a hike many years ago. His spirit, it was believed, still roamed the forest, seeking vengeance on those who dared to enter his domain. Most of us dismissed Sarah's story as a campfire yarn meant to spook us, but as the days went on, a growing sense of unease settled over the camp. Strange occurrences became more frequent: rustling in the bushes at night, footprints that appeared out of nowhere, and whispers on the wind. One moonless night, a group of us decided to venture into the woods in search of the truth behind the Woodsman's legend. Armed with flashlights, we followed a winding trail that led us deep into the heart of the forest. As we ventured further, the air grew colder, and the dense canopy of trees blocked out the starlight, enveloping us in an inky darkness. Our flashlights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the trees, and the forest seemed to close in around us. It was then that we heard it, the sound of a distant, mournful whistle, like the wind blowing through hollow reeds. Panic surged through us as we tried to retrace our steps, but the trail seemed to have vanished, and the forest was a maze of twisted trees and thorny underbrush. The whistling grew closer, echoing through the darkness. It was as if the Woodsman himself were drawing near, his presence a malevolent force in the night. We stumbled through the forest, our fear mounting with every step. The whistling grew louder, and we felt as if we were being pursued by a relentless phantom. Just when we thought all hope was lost, a brilliant light pierced the darkness, and the whistling fell silent. We emerged from the forest, shaken and horrified by our ordeal. In the days that followed, we tried to make sense of what had happened, but the terror of that night still haunted our dreams. The unease that had settled over the camp seemed to lift, as if the Woodsman had been appeased by our fear. As the summer drew to a close, I left the camp with a newfound appreciation for the power of legends and the mysteries that lurk in the depths of the wilderness. The memory of that haunting summer camp experience still sends shivers down my spine, a chilling reminder that sometimes the darkness of the forest holds secrets that are best left undisturbed. Story 2. The Lake's Dark Secret. The summer of my 12th year was filled with anticipation as my family planned a vacation to a remote lake nestled deep within the mountains. We had heard tales of its crystal-clear waters, lush forests, and the serenity it offered those seeking an escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Little did we know that our idyllic family getaway would turn into a nightmare. The lake was a hidden gem, its pristine beauty a sight to behold. As we arrived at our rented cabin, I couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder and excitement. The cabin was rustic but charming, and it seemed like the perfect place for a week of relaxation and family bonding. The first few days were magical. We swam in the cool waters, went fishing, and explored the nearby woods. The tranquility of the lake was a balm for our souls, and we felt a deep sense of peace and contentment. But as the days went on, I began to notice something odd, an air of unease that hung over the lake. My parents brushed it off as my imagination, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. One evening, as we gathered around the campfire, my younger sister, Emma, spoke in hushed tones about the stories she had heard from the local children, a legend that told of a cursed creature that lurked beneath the lake's surface. According to the tale, the creature, known as the Lake Dweller, had once been a guardian spirit of the lake, but it had been corrupted by the greed and pollution of mankind. Now, it sought revenge on anyone who dared to enter its domain. Most of us dismissed Emma's story as a child's fantasy, but as the days passed, strange occurrences began to unfold. Fishermen spoke of their lines being inexplicably severed, and campers reported hearing eerie, otherworldly cries in the dead of night. One day, as we took our boat out onto the lake, we noticed something unsettling, straying ripples on the water's surface that seemed to follow us wherever we went. It was as if something unseen was lurking beneath, watching our every move. The unease reached its peak one night when we heard a guttural, unearthly roar echoing through the forest. It was a sound that sent shivers down our spines, a sound that seemed to come from the very depths of the lake. We decided to investigate, despite our fear. Armed with flashlights, we ventured down to the lake's edge, our hearts pounding with trepidation. The water was eerily calm, its surface like a mirror reflecting the moonlight. And then we saw it, a massive, shadowy figure rising from the depths of the lake. It was unlike anything we had ever seen. Its eyes gleamed with malevolence, and its twisted, sinewy form sent waves of terror through us. The lake dweller, as the legend had described, had emerged from its watery lair. It let out another bone-chilling roar, and we watched in horror as it surged towards us, its gaping maw filled with rows of jagged teeth. We scrambled back to the safety of our cabin, the creature's roar echoing in our ears. We locked the doors and windows, our fear intensifying as we realized the cabin's isolation left us vulnerable to whatever lurked outside. For hours, we heard the creature's mournful cries and the sound of its monstrous form circling the cabin. We were trapped. Our only hope that morning would bring salvation. As dawn broke, the creature's presence seemed to recede, and we summoned the courage to venture outside. The lake was calm once more, its surface undisturbed as if nothing had happened. We packed our bags hastily, determined to leave the cursed lake behind. As we drove away, the sense of unease lingered, a haunting reminder of the dark secret that lurked beneath the lake's tranquil facade. To this day, my family speaks in hushed tones about our ill-fated trip to the lake. The memory of the lake dweller still fills us with dread, a chilling reminder that sometimes the most serene places can hide the darkest secrets. Story 3. The Chilling Pursuit. Summer days in our small town were defined by two things: sweltering heat and the cheerful jingles of the ice cream truck. The arrival of the ice cream man was always met with jubilation, but one fateful afternoon, a group of US kids decided to chase the ice cream man, and what began as a simple adventure turned into a chilling ordeal. The sun bore down relentlessly as we heard the familiar jingle of the ice cream truck echoing through our neighborhood. It was a sound that sent us scrambling for change and racing to the curb, eagerly waving down the ice cream man. But on this particular day, as we crowded around the truck to place our orders, something strange caught my eye: an old tattered photograph taped to the inside of the truck's window. It depicted a group of kids who bore a striking resemblance to my friends and me, with the caption, "The Chasing Crew." Curiosity got the better of us, and we asked the ice cream man about the photograph. He chuckled and explained that it was a tradition in our town. Kids who managed to catch the ice cream truck and order their treats while running alongside it were forever immortalized in the photograph. The idea appealed to us and we decided to give it a try. With ice cream cones in hand, we sprinted alongside the truck, laughing and shouting as we tried to keep up. It was a thrilling race, and we couldn't help but feel a sense of pride at the thought of joining the ranks of the chasing crew. But as we raced through the streets, something strange began to happen. The world around us seemed to blur, and the buildings and trees appeared distorted, as if we had entered a surreal dreamscape. The ice cream truck's jingle grew louder, almost deafening, and the road seemed to stretch endlessly before us. Panic set in as we realized that we couldn't keep up, no matter how fast we ran. It was as if the truck were pulling us into some otherworldly dimension. With a sudden burst of fear, we tried to stop, but our legs wouldn't obey. We were trapped in a nightmarish pursuit, unable to escape the relentless ice cream truck. As the minutes turned into hours, exhaustion set in, and our laughter turned to cries of desperation. The ice cream truck showed no signs of slowing down, and the distorted world around us seemed to grow darker, more foreboding. Just when we thought all hope was lost, a brilliant light filled the sky, and the ice cream truck vanished before our eyes. We stumbled to a stop, disoriented and terrified by what we had experienced. We found ourselves back in our familiar neighborhood, but something had changed. The ice cream truck was gone, and the photograph of the chasing crew had disappeared from the window. We returned home shaken and bewildered by our ordeal, and tried to make sense of what had happened. The memory of that chilling pursuit still haunts us, a reminder that sometimes the pursuit of a simple pleasure can lead to the most unexpected and terrifying of experiences.